Welcome back to Professional Picks College Basketball for our second video of the year. We went 2-1 in our opening video for Monday night, and it would have been a clean sweep if A&M didn't allow a 1-12 run to close the game. Absolutely fell apart, and there's no real explanation for it. UCF's best players were in foul trouble, so the read was on point. They just couldn't execute. On the flip side, Ohio State looked great. John Mobley, the freshman, looks like a Steph Curry type shooter, hitting multiple from the logo, but he does need to improve defensively to stay out there on the court. And then Gonzaga absolutely rolled and looks like a legit contender to me. And in this video, we have another top 10 ranked matchup, and it is the March Madness Championship game matchup from just a couple years ago. We'll get right into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you're enjoying the content. Let me know what you're taking in the comments. Let me know if there's any other games you're interested in. Just want to get more interaction going out there, but let's jump into our one matchup. This will be a quicker video. This game is in Lawrence, Kansas, so we got a true home game for the Jayhawks, and the spread is definitely indicative of that fact, with them being 7.5-point favorites. Somewhat a large spread for a top 10 matchup. Both teams picked up wins in their opening tune-up games on Monday and have set their sights on this huge non-conference game. Both teams overall healthy. Kansas has a few more injuries, but those were all pretty much known going into the season. So say both teams are healthy, just as of what the teams have started the year with. But like I said, it is a large spread, so I won't be shocked if UNC can cover. I also see about 80% of the money going into UNC right now. So if you do like Kansas, you might want to wait. Could see the spread going down, but you never know. I mean, you could see it getting larger as well. But I do think a lot of money is going to continue to be put on UNC, as that's what the early action looks like here. But personally, I'm on Kansas for this game. My number one reason is that UNC lacks the size and skill in the paint. You heard it in my last video, and you're going to hear it on pretty much every video. I mean, this isn't the NBA. Not going to have guys just completely taking over games. It happens, but definitely less often. So I'm going to take the team that's going to get more rebounds, going to give up less easy layups and dunks, just less of those easy two-point shots, and create more possessions for themselves. So typically I'm going to go with that team, unless the other team, in my opinion, is that much better shooting. For example, this UNC team only out-rebounded Elon by 3 boards in a game where UNC missed the cover by 14 points. It was fairly close to the end, but Armando Bacot's no longer here to clean up the glass, and they didn't really address it in the portal. Got Jalen Washington, the third-year player, now stepping in, and he's going to have to play more minutes. Jalen Withers is going to have to step up. Cade Tyson, more of a stretch 4 from Belmont, but he's going to have to help out on the glass. And it's a lot more question marks over there, whereas, you have Hunter Dickinson, who's 7-footer, some questions about the motor, but when he's playing well, he is one of the most difficult matchups in the country. And then just a big body, athletic KJ Adams at the 4. I think they should dominate the glass in this one. My number 2 reason is that Kansas underperformed last year, and I think this team's going to come out with some fire. Yes, maybe they don't deserve the number 1 seed after how they performed, but the moves they made in the portal and the way this team is built heading into the season, I think they can easily win it all this year. They returned starters of Dickinson, KJ Adams, DeJuan Harris, all these guys who dealt with those injuries last year, dealt with some of the disappointment. And those injuries could always flare up again, but they're healthy now, they're ready to go, and they're experienced, been at Kansas for quite some time. So is RJ Davis, but not many other guys on the Tar Heels can say the same. Then my last reason is that there's just so much pressure on Dickinson to do everything last year. Like when McCullough went down, this team just fell apart. They didn't have other scoring options really outside the 2, at least consistent scoring options and shooters. But this team definitely does. Bill Self made a lot of moves in the portal to allow guys to space the floor, distribute the scoring if there are any injuries. Rylan Griffin from Bama has been a great shooter his career. Zeke Mayo looks like a potential star at the 2 guard. I mean, we'll see who ends up starting as this lineup gets shaken out, but he could be the 6 man, and both of them could shoot very well. And then even thrown in the mix, AJ Storr, the #1 transfer, who can create a shot on any possession. Mix all those guys in with Hunter Dickinson, and there's not as much pressure or really just allowing the defense to focus on 1 or 2 guys. So I like the way this team's built. They should win the glass, and they have enough shooters to stay in this if it becomes more of a high-scoring 3-point chuck type of contest. Just to address the other side, RJ Davis could have a huge game if he gets hot, but I do like the experience DeJuan Harris has to at least slow him down. We've seen RJ Davis take over games, but I mean, that's not going to be the main reason I'm going to take North Carolina in this matchup. They're going to rely on Elliot Cadeau to do a lot more. His jump shot looks a lot better. Hubert Davis has been raving about him, but he's going to have to step up, be that #2 option after really being like the 4th or 5th option last year. Seth Trimble is on the same boat. He's got to develop jumping into that starting lineup. Their guards could play better in this one, but they really have to shoot extremely well from the 3 and shoot that much better from the 3 than Kansas will. And I'm just not going to side with the odds on that one. Harrison Ingram's gone, like we said, along with Armando Bacot. So they're relying on guys to develop, kind of step into these positions, and maybe Hubert Davis will be onto something with that method, but I'm going to go with the guys who have already proven it, already shown they can perform at a high level, and not going to just take a guess here in a big matchup like this. So my pick is Kansas -7.5. Let me know what you're taking in the comments, but that's it for this video. Good luck to everyone this weekend. Yeah, stay tuned for more content.